Love is a powerful word. In much of mainstream media, love conquers all and true love's kiss breaks the curse. Love has shaped world events, has brought massive change through movements, and brought those who are down up. Love seems to come in many forms. For example, I love my wife. I love dogs. I love this coffee that I'm sipping on as I write this video. Is my love for my coffee the same kind of love that I have for my wife? A great quote from Interstellar reads, "Love is the one thing we're capable of perceiving that transcends dimensions of time and space." But how do you perceive love? A few months ago, an idea that I became increasingly passionate about is the artful representation of vague, ambiguous, or intangible concepts. I am incredibly appreciative and inspired that different eyes can see the same word or concept differently. So I reached out and gathered 6 artists of drastically different art styles, mediums, and backgrounds, and gave them the same single word to express in some kind of work. That word was love.
Hi, my name is Pouya. My day job is I'm a broadcast producer, and my wife and I have a photography business. But what got me into video production and just like the visual arts was kind of music that led me to it.
I'm Gigi and I paint, so I'm really excited to be a part. Oftentimes that medium isn't as communal as other forms of art, so I'm excited to be a part of a project that's a little bit more community oriented.
My name is Cooper. I am a musician. I largely do music now, producing for my wife. We do music together. It's actually what we're doing right now. I'm outside of a very cold studio, and I'm super psyched.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Thomas Lipscomb, and I am a stand-up comedian in LA.
I'm Ryan. Kind of a mixed bag of stuff. I don't really know exactly what I'm going to do yet, so we'll see what happens. Depends on the prompt, but I'm very excited to be part of this. So.
All right, guys.
Nice meeting you
Thanks,
all.
Professor.
Yeah, nice
meeting you.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
I'll be grading everyone.
For this project, I was struggling so much. Not gonna lie, was a little mad when you said love. This is like the most broad, ridiculous place to begin. Clearly, as you can see from this web diagram, I was like, I could literally do anything.
So I was up super late at night, only thinking about this concept and this idea. And I was inspired by my relationship with my wife. About a month ago, Maddie and I thought our life was going one way. We knew exactly where we were going to be. And within the span of 2 weeks, the entire plan flipped over and we ended up choosing and moving somewhere that we didn't even think was a possibility. And with that move came so many questions, so many unknowns with career, with living situations, friends, so many things that could have taken us down, I think, a really dark path. But through it all, holding hands. When I was frustrated, she was there for me. When she was frustrated, I wanted to be there for her. And it clicked for me that, to me, when I think about love, I think about the loyalty and the support that you have for someone else. It doesn't even have to be your spouse. It can be a family member or even a friend. So this one image came up in my head over and over again and just never left. It was an image of this deep, ethereal space, just a void. And in the middle was me and Maddie floating and barely holding hands, to show that even in the void of space, we would have each other. And the way that I was visualizing it was in a very particular art style called pixel art. It's like old retro video games. The only problem is, I don't know how to do that.
So I've been currently working on this project for probably a couple of days now. The whole concept was love. What was love to me? And of course it's a classic love, but I wanted to tap into something that I see almost every single day. And so I drew up this sketch of like an isometric shape. It's like just a room, and it's just a dog waiting by the door. It's based off my dog currently, who's in this crate right now because he peed on the carpet. He, every single day, waits for my wife Sarah to get back home. She works as a school teacher, so when she comes home, he sits by the door, or he bolts to the door basically the second he hears the keys. This sort of picture is inspired by him, because this is sort of like the love I see every single day. I see that, I don't know, just that how much a dog loves their human. The concept then was take this and throw it in Blender, create a shape, and then animate it. I have exactly less than 48 hours to get this to you, so best of luck to me.
Okay, so I'm finally sitting down to work on this project. I have no idea how long this is gonna take. It's pixel by pixel, so I'm gonna assume a long time.
What I'm gonna do is talk about a joke I love. I just wanted to show you guys how I wrote it and kind of the process in starting out telling a joke and how it can change over time and how you can add things, take things away.
So I really did want to take it a pretty lighthearted route of like something with dogs or like I love food and kind of just run with that. But I was kind of confronted as we entered into the early part of this year with some heavy stuff panning out in the world and just feeling like addressing love in kind of a lighthearted way didn't do it justice. As I started to brainstorm for this, I was sitting in church. We did communion at church actually, and I think our pastor, someone said something along the lines of like, basically the extent to which we experience love almost comes down to like a recognition of how little we actually deserve it. And what makes love truly love is just this like deep sacrificial nature to it.
When Ted told me that the prompt was love, my mind immediately went to my lo-fi project called Bouncy Bear. And my goal kind of with Bouncy Bear is to make songs that kind of create an attitude, make the room kind of a better place to be. And I immediately drew parallels to the way I think about love. You know, when you think about someone you love, you want it to be somebody that makes the room a better place, someone that you feel comfortable with. And so I immediately knew I was going to do something kind of in that vein.
So I looked at the clock when I started and it was noon. And the next time I looked at 6:30, so I've been doing this for 6 hours straight.
And thinking about love, I wanted to go right for kind of the cliche stuff, just because I think it's cliche because it's good. Yeah, again, my goal with it is just, it's something that you can put on and just go, ah. And I think that's something I really value in the people that I love. I'm really excited with how this came out, and I can't wait to see what everybody else did with the prompt. We've got so many different types of artists here, and I think that's really, really cool.
Congratulations to everyone. Thomas will be here shortly. I don't know, so I'll give the congratulations now though for everyone finishing a project. I appreciate all of you guys putting in the work to get to this point where you have something to show, unless I look in your folder and you lied and you don't. All right, so show us what you created. So I'll give like just a little bit of context, and then we can view it. I did a pixel art, which I have never done, and I am not at all like I did drawing when I was like a kid, but it's going to be a small file. So it's like 360p. It's gonna be like this tiny, it's what you would see on like a Game Boy Advanced, I think is the specific resolution I did. I made it into a GIF. So it's it's 2 pixel arts on top of each other. It is me and Maddie wearing what we wore at our wedding, and we're just floating in space, and it kind of felt like even in the most unknown of areas, which I could think of was the void of a black hole in space, that we would still be reaching out to comfort and be with each other.
So for this, do you do like broader strokes, or are you going one square by one square?
The planets, all the stars, the black hole, and me and Maddie are all, by pixel.
Wow.
So we took photos of me and Maddie in our clothes on the ground doing that, and then brought us in for reference.
Ted, I love this aesthetic, and like I have such a love of this era of games and stuff. Like within arm's reach is my little Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I have like such a love for this art style and like the meticulous nature of it, and like the details even on that back planet are so cool.
I also love that you captured, and obviously the galaxy is kind of this purpley depth of color, but in your context, in how you were describing like the lead up to creating this, the kind of undertone of everything you're saying is like, in the midst of chaos, the love that Maddie and I have is kind of this anchor and this like calm. And the color that you picked to be kind of the backdrop for this image is so like calming. Like it just brings like,
I'm a visual producer by trade. What a lot of people don't know about me is that I have a before life as a singer-songwriter. Most people in my life today don't know that. I have a lot of musician friends and they're amazing. And so every time I want to create music, I feel like I can't live up to like the standard that I want. I just don't end up doing it. A couple of weeks ago, do you ever like fall asleep on the couch when you know you have to go to bed, but you're like, the couch is comfy? And so I woke up like all delirious, having just like thought about this concept before. And I was inspired with a song. And so I was like half asleep in the kitchen, writing down like some lyrics that came to my mind. And I hadn't done this for like that before life was like 11 or 12 years ago. I thought about how throughout our life, we experience love in different ways from different people. How we experience love matures as we grow up. So you might like have a high school girlfriend and you were like, we were in love, but now you're married. You're like this love is totally different than that love. Or like how you loved your parents is different than how you loved your spouse. I chose some of those loves that meant a lot to me, that I think about a lot. It's kind of like going through life and the different expressions of love that we experience. So each verse is about a different one. So the first verse is about what love means to God. The second one is about what love means to parents and like what love means coming from your parents. The third one is what love means in my marriage with my wife. And then the last one is what you'll be remembered for when you die. And I think it's for the people that you loved and like the love that you brought to this world.
I see the light, the world begins. Your breath is running through my chest. The break of innocence commenced, yearning for love. You gave your love. A newborn cries that life is born. A helpless child is swaddled numb. Yeah, my mother gave her all she knew, and she called it love. It's how she loved. She said, I'll never leave your side. An oath I hold, I'll always try. My heart is yours to keep for life. In the name of love, we fell in love. Yeah, I want a love that will never die. A harmony that forever rhymes. A song to drown out pictures tell your past. When your flesh is gone, but the memories last. Your friends and family raise a glass to recall your love, your love. It was all for love, love.
Oh man. I think I'm tearing up a little bit.
That was awesome.
Dude! Ah!
What are you doing as a visual producer?
That I feel like that was hitting me hard with like fully like enveloped in it. I need to take this on like a sunset drive right now and think about life.
Yeah, I thought that was really awesome. When I was in LA, I did so much like pop writing stuff, and it's so formulaic with like verse, pre, chorus, and I love the almost 4-verse element that you brought in, and you still tied them all together with the it was all for love, love. I think like it's awesome. I really like it.
You know, as another singer-songwriter, man, that was definitely gonna rethink some things.
I think anytime we produce art, our desire is for it to like move people or change them or like call them to action. I started tearing up during that just because in the process of bringing us through these like different phases of life and then concluding with the call to like, so what does this mean for like how you love people and how is this going to affect all of that? Like you did such a beautiful job of bringing us through that journey so that we weren't just like thrown into this call to action of like, what will your life be? Like, what is love to you? What do you care about kind of thing? But to like, do you see how love has created you to be the person you are now? And like, because of that, like, how is the love that you have going to influence the people around? Like, I'm going to listen to this all the time. It's just beautiful. I tend to be teacherly in nature, so I'm going to walk through this like a teacher would because that will make it easier for me. I think that we talked through our art form. My typical medium is acrylic painting, and I decided to go out on a limb on this one, and I went the oil painting route, which honestly really regretted, but it was a good challenge. Learned a lot. That was like my first sketch of what I wanted to convey. It's a picture of the communion table. There's obviously the bread and the wine that are present there, but then on the same table is a bitten apple, which is what we know from the story of Genesis. And spatially, like from an artistic standpoint, and those of you who are visual artists might relate to this, the wine glass and the apple are really close in proximity in the image. The communion table that God has set before us in his son Jesus meets us right where sin entered our lives, which is captivated in the apple shown on the table. On the wine glass, there's like a lip stain, and it's almost in parallel with the apple. And that like there's a scripture that talks about like in the same breath we curse God and then speak highly of him. That we have these two elements right in direct conjunction with each other, and that we are not abandoned in the midst of that God's love extends and cuts into that.
Yeah, that's so awesome. I'm looking at it and like I really like getting a peek into all the details that are included. There is like intention behind it.
I am very jealous and now hungry.
Gigi, that was awesome. It was really cool. Like already I'm loving how this concept just like totally took a different direction and it like manifested in a different medium for you.
Okay, so for me, based off the ideas, I work from home consistently every single day, and I have a dog who consistently ignores me every day. The second that my wife comes home and just starts waiting by the door for her, whimpering, whining, and so this is kind of inspiration behind it. My idea feels like such a smaller level of love compared to what like Gigi and Pouya mentioned about, and even you, Ted, about like this deep transitional love we had, these dark moments of how God affects us and how I feel about love. Mine's just about my dog liking pets.
but summer could take some lessons from her.
I love the viewpoint that we have, peeking into, we're here looking at the dog doesn't know, like, we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that it looks so like, because it's 3D, like, looks so doughy, just so like,
Yeah.
I could take a bite out of everything. Like,
Yeah.
Ryan, does your apartment look anything like that?
Exactly like that.
Is it
I
really?
took a picture. No.
Oh, I was like, geez. Definitely is giving off like WandaVision.
yeah.
This is something that I feel like I could see like in a game.
If I didn't know you, I wouldn't think this is your first like final 3D piece.
I like that they were different speeds too. Like it kind of adds to like the passage of time, which again like kind of boosts the love that, you know, a dog has for, you know, its person, so to speak. Is that like
Yeah.
you know, they'll sit and they'll wait.
I also never had a dog, and this makes me want a dog.
Dang, this is so cool.
Way to go, dude.
I love it. I love it, dude. That looks so, it's so creamy.
Creamy.
Doughy.
It looks doughy, but it is creamy.
When I got the word love, I wanted to go through the process of like telling a joke. The thing about comedy is you have to work on it every day. And not only like write every day, you have to perform every day. I feel like the process of stand-up comedy is something that I really love. So what I did was I took one of my favorite jokes and I kind of just go through the whole process. It's about like a 7-minute video. Every open mic set I do, every show set I do, I always record, and I look like I'm unemployed. What I'm going to do is talk about a joke I love. I just wanted to show you guys how I wrote it and the process in starting out telling a joke and how it can change over time and how you can add things, take things away. So when I was starting out doing stand-up, I was bombing a lot. I knew it was because I was new. Like 99% of the people that are new doing stand-up do not do a good job. So one of the things I thought about was making fun of yourself. It's an easier thing to do. I wouldn't necessarily call it cheap, but it's something that really great comedians do, so I thought I'd give it a try. My brother-in-law Jeremy has said numerous times that my mustache looks like I have 2 sets of eyebrows. And that's always been implemented in my brain. I've always thought about that. I always thought it was funny. So I thought, let me try and do that. So this is one of the first times that I ever talked about my mustache.
I have a weird mustache. Does anybody else have any weird mustaches? My mustache doesn't connect in the middle. Everybody's just like staring right now. My brother-in-law says it looks like I have 2 sets of eyebrows.
Bang. Okay. I knew that there was something there because I heard a few laughs, which was exciting to me as a young comedian because it's very hard to come up with material and jokes that work. But it's like a 10-second joke. So I'm thinking, how can I extend this?
And now I was at a dinner and this girl was like, you should like microblade it. You know, like filling in an eyebrow. Like, yeah, she said, you should like microblade it right there. Get a tattoo right there. What happens when I shave? I'm gonna look like that guy we all know. Charlie Chaplin. Thanks, guys.
Cool, so now I added in something at the end. So yeah, that actually did happen. I went to a dinner. They said microblade, you could fill it in right there. What happens when I shave? I'm gonna look like that guy we all know. Got a big laugh at the table, so I'm like, you know what? If this gets a big laugh with my friends, let me try it on stage. I didn't love the Charlie Chaplin name. I wanted to think of maybe someone more obscure, and I found that Michael Jordan has that mustache. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be on this show. Let me try this Michael Jordan ending.
I'm gonna look like that guy we all know. Michael Jordan. Alright, guys.
Cool, so that didn't go well at all. You can see it in my face right there. But I still really thought it was funny. And I think I know why that joke didn't work. I had a lot of really low energy. And I think when you have really low energy, you don't come off as the nicest person. And people don't really want to laugh at that. So I was like, let me put more energy into this so I can look more presentable and more just, I guess, like happy to be there. This is how it went. This is the best this joke has ever gone.
I'll leave you guys with this. I do have a weird mustache. People saying yeah. It doesn't connect. It doesn't connect in the middle. Somebody said, yeah, we know. Okay. It doesn't connect in the middle. My brother-in-law says it looks like I have 2 sets of eyebrows. I was at a dinner with these girls. They were like, yeah, like you could like they were talking about like microblading, like filling in their eyebrows. They were like, you could do that like right there. They were like, you can microblade right there. Like you could get like a tattoo like right there. I was like, what happens when I shave? I'm gonna look like that guy we all know. Michael Jordan. All right. Thank you, my name's Thomas. So that is my favorite joke. I love that joke. Now I can never shave my mustache because if I do, I can't tell that joke.
I think that's really cool because like stand-up as a whole is one of those things that when you think about doing it, you think it's like way easier than it is until you actually try and do it. Framing it like a labor of love, which is really like what it is a really cool angle. Because like you talk to anybody that actually does stuff like this, they're like, no, I like eat, sleep, and write jokes, and then I perform those jokes, and then while I'm performing, I have to think about what works and what doesn't. I think it's definitely one of those things that you don't think about the details and the work that goes into it just because you watch a 45-minute Netflix special and went, that probably took 45 minutes of their time.
Stand-up comedy is one of like the only, I feel like, skills or art forms that you can only practice and learn absolutely by failing in front of people. A lot of other artists get to hide the more imperfections, but maybe that makes your art even stronger or better because you have to do that and go through that.
It definitely is a labor of love, but when it goes well, it is very rewarding. So.
A background on me. I am a music producer and I'm also a Twitch streamer, and the intersection there is when you're streaming, you want songs kind of behind you. It kind of helps create a bit of a mood. For a long time on Twitch, and everybody was just kind of playing Lil Wayne behind them and didn't realize that was a problem. And so the boot dropped on like 8 or 10 of the top big streamers all at once. And that kind of coincided with the release of something that I had been working on for a while, which is my lo-fi project that I call Bouncy Bear. I want to create songs that create attitudes and environments, like an audio candle where it's like not necessarily this piece of music that is supposed to like blow your mind or like change the way you think about music, but there's something really valuable about being able to sit in a space and just be comfortable. And I think that connects beautifully to the idea of love. When you love someone, the ability to feel comfortable with them is really important. With the nature of this song, I feel like I can just kind of interject as things come in. It's called Letterman Jacket. 3, 2, and 1. Little vinyl noise, of course.
Mom, how can I tell it? How did you know when you were in love with Dad?
Oh, I've been in love several times before. I got so I could recognize the symptoms.
So let's see, I played everything, so there are no loops or anything here. There's a mix of like MIDI instruments and there's a mix of physical like instruments, so that bass part is something I put down. This is like a sample that I cut up, that little guitar part. And again, I just want it kind of to envelop is the idea, so. Little strings in the background. Little additional kind of moment here, keep things moving. Let it kind of focus on the piano. I love the bass sound that I found. I wanted something really round and not too aggressive. So I could let the string bass kind of have the point. And so they wouldn't fight each other. And then I also developed this kind of high, sprinkly, what I call a BPM synth. So it's arpeggiated. But it kind of makes this like angelic kind of thing that sits on top of everything. And then we bring that piano back. We bring the strings back. I iterated with the like kick pattern quite a bit. Finally got it to where at least a place that I like. Then again, we're kind of back to that angelic kind of thing. Really focus on the piano here. And we let it fade out. So that's Letterman jacket.
I want to go fly now.
Sick.
I'm going to speak for the entire Zoom call. I think we are a lot more comfortable now.
Something about that feels more safe. Feels like I'm put into a different time.
Yeah.
How you wanted to present it, that it is how it is coming across.
Oh, that's cool.
Like your goal is met. Dang. From just an experiment point of view, so happy with how everything turned out. It's made like an impact and I think an impression on just me. Like just seeing everyone honestly to create such beautiful things. I don't know, the transparency and figuring out the why and the how and all that is all just like so beautiful, and I want to show it all. I don't know if I will be able to show it all, and I'm thankful for all of you guys for participating in the challenge. It's been nice to have people doing it right next to you. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Sweet.
Appreciate all of you.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
Bye.